Hey everyone, welcome back to World of Warcraft Classic Fresh and our Orc Hunter. I appreciate you joining me today, and I hope you are all doing well. Today we're looking to wrap up as much of the Southern Barrens as possible. I'm okay with leaving a few quests uncompleted if there ends up being a bit too much competition for kills and or items. But I'd like to at least put an end to the Quillbore menace at the very least. We are currently running down the Southern Gold Road from Camp Tarajo, and we should be arriving at our destination fairly shortly. So let's get started. We'll keep an eye out for Gan's Reclamation. I guess it's a little bit further down. It's right around the crossroads between the Southern Barrens and Dustwallow. Can't remember where the runed scroll comes from. And we don't typically take care of the Sithilid Harvester. Can't remember the last time I actually took care of those quests. I don't think they lead to anything special in particular, so I tend to just gloss over them. So the goal is definitely to hit level 30, which we should have no issue doing. We'll definitely pick up our level 30 abilities as well. Gonna have to keep track of our pet's abilities soon enough. I think at level 32 we should be able to pick up a new rank of Screech. And around that same level maybe we can pick up a new ability in Dive as well, which basically acts as a sprint slash dash for our bat. But we'll see what we get done today. We could end up getting really lucky with these Quillbore. Maybe we can group. We can definitely group for these quests, I think. I mean, like the shields and stuff like that are pretty easy drops to come by, I would say. The skulls are obviously guaranteed, so these could be group quests if we want them to be.
Greetings. Be careful.
Got Gan's Reclamation here. I guess we'll pick it up for now. I don't know if these dwarves are going to be great to us. But we'll check that out after we deal with the Quillbore. And speaking of which, we should be arriving shortly. If we somehow have an inordinate amount of extra time, we could also go into the 1,000 Needles. And at least pick up the quests around the Great Lift and pick up the flight path for Freewind Post. First, let's get started with Betrayal from Within and Weapons of Choice at Blackthorn Ridge. First named NPC, nowhere to be found at the moment. And unfortunately, as feared, these enemies look like they're gray. At least some of them are. These Pathfinders are probably the lower level, part of the lower level Quillbore, I would say. I feel like as we move into the hills in the back here, we might run into stuff that might be closer to our level. At least that's what we're going to hope for. We'll take care of this guy and we'll get our food buff back up real quick. Let's see if this mage is going after our named NPC. Looked like he was firing off at something. No, it looks like just another Pathfinder. Yeah, I figured this area would be pretty highly contested. least everything's dying very quickly. And this might be the last that we ever see of the Barons, to be fair, from a questing perspective, so yeah, I'm okay taking out some gray enemies just to enjoy this zone for the last time in probably a long time. I don't anticipate making any new characters anytime soon, especially on Horde side. So yeah, we might not see the Barons for quite a long time. We did just pick up the Backstabber, which is nice, and we picked up plus 11 healing spells on a mail piece. I don't think anybody's going to want that. Doesn't seem like something that would end up being too popular, so we'll probably just vendor that. We are picking up some wool cloth at least, which is sellable in the auction house. Should make us a decent amount of gold. If we can continue to collect those. And now let's start working on these Razormane Seers, which are green to us. We can actually get some experience out of them, and I think we have like Defenders or something like that a little bit further west. Try to be careful of these stalkers, not trying to pull too many of these because we don't actually need them anymore. And let's just pray that we can pick up some of these named NPCs. We just picked up the wand very quickly. Seems like weapons of choice is going to be pretty easy to complete. It's the Betrayal Within that is going to be a little bit more complicated, I think. I haven't seen too many players here though, just the mage, so... But maybe that also means that Blackthorn Ridge isn't a spot for hyper spawning, if there aren't going to be too many players in the area. Might mean we have to wait for the full respawn timer for some of these named guys. I wonder what the washed pawn comes from. Looks like just like kind of a random quest pickup in the middle of nowhere. I wonder if it just randomly drops off of some of these Quillbore. I suppose that's a possibility. Alright, so we need these Razormane War Frenzies now to get the shield. And that'll be it for weapons of choice. Then we're going to have to go around and see if we can complete Betrayal from Within. If we can't, then we're probably just going to want to move on. Like if we don't see a single one of these guys that we actually need as we go from camp to camp here, then I don't believe we should wait for them. Picked up yet another wand. These random weapons that drop are actually, they're white weapons that can actually be equipped, but that also means that they sell for a decent amount of vendor gold too. It's not a bad farming location, honestly. So it looks like Locke, who is the main Quillbore, I think of the entire zone, is not here. But everybody else is, interestingly enough. You'd think that Locke, Kaz, and what's the other guy's name, Knack, you would think that they would be the ones respawning before all of the other stuff that's in the area. You'd think that they'd be the ones hyper-spawning based on just kind of how enemies such as them work generally within the starting zones. So I'm a little bit surprised that we haven't seen anything yet, considering that we've seen plenty of a whole bunch of other enemies all around us. I'm willing to wait a minute or two just to see if he will respawn, and then we'll check some of the other areas. Yeah, we've already got a respawn on this seer, which is right here, right at the entrance. Again, you'd think Locke would be up as well, but he is not. There's nothing left to kill here. I don't see. Oh, there he is. Good timing, we were about to leave. So at least we've got Locke, which means I'm going to give the other two enemies that we need a shot, at the very least. See if we can get those next, especially while everything is spawning in very quickly. Yeah, then we can check out Gan's Reclamation and the Great Lift. Then we're going to start preparing for RFK, I think, in the next episode. I don't think there's any reason to not enter that dungeon. And you'd think, Quillbore, and we're in the Barrens, big kind of leather piece, area. You'd think that RFK and RFD would have a lot of leather pieces within them, but they actually don't. And it's kind of interesting playing the Hunter now in a more detailed and focused manner on my part. I'm starting to realize that a lot of the dungeons just don't have leather stuff in them, and I'm wondering if that's a part of the reason why skinning and leatherworking is so viable compared to maybe even blacksmithing or even like tailoring to a certain extent. Almost because it's like necessary to level up those professions as a leatherwearer if you really want to fill in the gaps without spending money on the auction house. It really feels like that, because a lot of the dungeons from 1 to 30 do not have a whole lot of leather pieces that are worth it. Alright, we're starting to see a bunch of players now. Yeah, our named NPC over on this side of camp is not around. We'll go check out front by the road for Cuz. And we still need to pick up a war shield, I think. So we're going to have to go back to the western side anyway. So just a bunch of Pathfinders. These guys usually look fairly unique compared to the Quillbore around them, so... but yeah, I don't see anything here. And those Pathfinders are definitely not worth killing. Let's go pick up that shield. And we'll continue to keep our eye out. Let's check the group finder real quick for quests in this area. I wonder if people are actually using this or not still. So all the quests in general, there's only like 4 people listed. Yeah, so I don't think we're gonna find players very easily. I'm kind of shocked that this system isn't used more. It's very akin to the TBC looking for group system. You know, how it used to be. And I'm surprised more people don't use that as well. Just because of like it's the closest thing we have to the pre-made group finder in retail. And that pre-made group finder is, I mean, it's used a lot in retail, even when things are quiet. So I'm just surprised it's not used as much here. Maybe it is for like raids and stuff. As we kill Knack, we actually caught him at a good time. I don't see any other players here, so we're not going to invite anybody else. Looks like somebody else is looking for Cuz in chat. Alright, let's head back to the western side. We'll go ahead and pick up that shield. But yeah, just something that I noticed. The group finder is, I guess it's fine for dungeons. It's good that we at least have that to continue to look forward to. Even then, it's kind of weird. Like I still find myself using the LFG bulletin board add-on to aid, to kind of use that alongside the looking for group tool to find players. And you still end up using chat anyway. And I'm not sure if that's because people don't want to use it, or if they just don't know how. If it hasn't been made obvious to the player. Especially since most people, even new players, probably end up turning off tutorials and those pop-up tips and tricks and stuff that you normally see when you boot up World of Warcraft for the first time. There's got to be some organic way to kind of introduce this feature. Make more players aware of it. Even incentivize the use of it somehow, perhaps. It would just be nice if we could have it all in one place. Still looking for that pesky shield, and this is definitely something that can happen sometimes with this quest. Sometimes you end up with 4 or 5 backstabbers and wands in your inventory before you pick up that one shield. Bat just hit 29, I believe. Either that or he hit some sort of new loyalty level. I could have swore he already turned 29, but I could be wrong. And we're only about 3.5 bars or so away from hitting level 30. Another big milestone reached. So picked up a green belt here. Cloth piece, 3 stam, 5 intellect. That is something that will certainly sell. Great pickup there from a gray enemy. And there's that pesky shield. Alright, let's go see if we can find Cuz. It would be a shame if we had to leave without his skull, but we have the other 2. If he's not there, hopefully there's some animals or something in the area that we can farm on at least for a little while we wait for his respawn. Definitely do not intend to just wait around. I do not see him at the moment. I don't know if he travels in between these 2 camps here, or if he specifically just hangs out around this stone over here. Hoping that I don't have to break out some sort of targeting macro. Let's make sure that we tag him. Suppose we do also have the option of taking care of Gan's reclamation first, and then coming back and checking on this area again. Do a little bit of backtracking. The next quest is handled right over there anyway, so it's not like it's super far. I think Gan's reclamation actually has a follow-up as well that sends you back into that area. So, yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about doing that entire quest line. And if Gan's reclamation ends up being kill a bunch of gray enemies, then maybe we'll skip it too, and maybe we can spend the rest of our episode heading into Thousand Needles, picking up flight paths and any quests that might take us elsewhere. Still got a lot to do, I feel like, before we can take on Thousand Needles for the first time, even though we're at a perfect level to do so. We're starting to get into that territory again where our quests are turning gray very fast. And it's been very difficult to keep up with all of the lower level zones. At some point that's going to change. Especially around 40 plus, I feel like we're going to start running out of quests a lot faster. And then we'll have the opposite problem. Alright, I think we're going to have to call it quits, unfortunately. I definitely remember this guy being the toughest to locate, because he travels around a little bit. I don't know if he goes as far as like the ridge on the western side of the map necessarily. But clearly very difficult to find. Oh, hello. Well, this enemy right here might be the animal that we're looking for that bonus quest. I don't think I've actually seen this guy very often. I can't say that I recognize him. Cool. So that's another chunk of experience that we can get for free there. That's going to be back at Camp Trajo. And I think we're going to head over to Gan's Reclamation now. We'll go check out that area. We'll come back. We'll see. We'll try our luck again. It'd be a shame if we can't complete this one. So we were so close. I'm always afraid that as soon as I leave the area, he's just going to appear like right behind us. I feel like we've been hanging around there for quite a bit, and still no respawn, so I'm not sure what the timer looks like for him. Alright, let's go ahead and check out these dwarves. Let's see what levels we're dealing with. here in Bagnon. Yeah, 21, that's not going to do it. That is not going to be good enough. Tier of the Moons. I feel like, I mean, there's a level 30 quest at the end of this somewhere, and there are some level 23s in here, so I guess we'll stick around for a little bit. But I mean, especially when we hit level 30, this entire area is going to be useless to us. Looks like tons of killing. You know what? This quest marker is probably inside the building. Yeah, it's probably... I feel like it wouldn't be on top of the hill there. I feel like it would be inside the structure. Just to the north of our current position. Yeah, with this other hunter here, it's going to be... Looks like it's going to be pretty hard to pick up the rest of this quest anyway. So maybe instead of doing Gans Reclamation, maybe we can go inside this area and see if we can pick up the Tier of the Moons. If I'm not mistaken, this building over here on the hill here is full of elites, if I remember correctly. I see a little camp over there, though, so maybe that's where the quest is. Let's just take a quick stroll over in that direction. This one's a non-elite. Gives me some hope. Could just be that the enemies are just very packed together, very tightly. Going inside would make things a little bit rough for us, I think. Our positioning would be difficult to manage as we try to stay out of our dead zone. Yeah, there is a quest over here. I never knew this. I don't know if I've ever picked up this quest before.
You got my attention.
Feegly the Exiled wants you to retrieve for him the Tears of the Moons. Okay, and where would I get those? Locked it away in the keep, so I'm assuming in the middle of the keep. Well, why don't we go ahead and take care of that? You know, like I said, I don't think we're going to get this one done. The respawn rates seem pretty low. I see some more coming back now. I don't see a player necessarily in the area, but yeah, I think we'll just leave it alone. But we can try to complete this one. Yep, so let's drop Gan's Reclamation. I don't think we're going to move forward with that. We're going to grab the Tears of the Moons, and then we'll try our luck again with Cuz's skull. I'm assuming it's going to be locked like in the basement or something, and if this has already been cleared out, that could actually work in our favor. Either that or it's upstairs. I'm not sure if there's an upstairs to this area. It is a dwarven settlement, so I would expect everything to mostly go down as opposed to going up. Let's see. These hallways have been cleared out. Looks like we might be going up, though. Yeah, I feel like there's nothing up here. So we gotta go somewhere else. Yeah, here we go. Maybe this side is better. This one looks to be going down. Let's eat one of these steaks real quick, and I imagine somewhere down there, looks like somebody else is here. Cool, quick group. I am down with it. This is a little rough. Let's grab the strong box here, pick up the Tears of the Moon. Perfect. That worked out perfectly, and actually that was probably necessary. If we were to pull 5 of those by ourselves, that might have ended very poorly for us. So I'm glad they came in when they did. And we were able to finish that a lot faster than I was originally anticipating when I picked up this quest. So let's turn in that Tears of the Moon quest.
Off with you. Watch your back.
Decent chunk of experience and silver. Oh no, he turned into a trog. Oh boy. Well, he's not hostile, and I don't think the trog version of this man is going to give us a quest. So thank you for the experience. Thank you for the silver. We are moving on. We're going to go check back in with Cuz at Blackthorn Ridge. Then I think we're going to go ahead and pick up the quests at the Great Lift. I think one of the quests we currently have in our inventory. Calling in the reserves, maybe? I feel like one of these had something to deal with 1,000. I know the Sacred Flame is at Freewind Post, I want to say. Oh, we just picked up a green sword. 6 agility, 6 spirit is pretty bad. I'd rather just vendor that, I think. We can try to post it once, I suppose. It is a fairly slow weapon, which might be desirable by warriors. Alright, let's see. Let's go check on Cuz. Don't see him yet. I know that he looks like a seer. So he should stick out in this area full of pathfinders and backstabbers and whatnot. It's unfortunate because we can never find a body. It would be one thing if we could at least see a body of some kind and know that he's been killed recently. But every time we've gone through here and every time we've camped out in this little area, we have not even seen that. Oh, there he is. Wow, he's really far off. I've never seen him over here. Okay, well, we got lucky. Yeah, I would have never thought to look on this side of the ridge. I'm really glad we were able to spot him before he got too close to this this little building up here. Cool, that's good. I'm glad we were able to do that. I think we'll still head down to the Great Lift since we're down here. I don't know if we'll make the trip to Freewind Post. Looking at Thousand Needles, I mean, there's stuff that we're going to be sent up in this direction anyway. So I suppose it doesn't matter if we pick it up now or later. It just means a slightly longer run from Camp Tarajo. I don't see why not. Let's get our traveling out of the way. Looks like we need, like, I mean, once we either need one more kill or we'll just turn in the quest at a Great Lift, I think, and that should push us to 30. So why don't we just go ahead and handle all of this now? We're starting to make episodes a little bit longer anyway. I'm starting to not concern myself so much with the length that we're running with here. Let's just handle everything we need to deal with before we head into Razorfen Crawl in the next episode. I kind of have the next several episodes lined up as well, as far as where we want to level and what we want to take on. You know, I kept thinking more about Scarlet Monastery Graveyard, and I'm kind of feeling like since there's literally nothing in there besides doing one of the Scarlet Monastery quests, which I don't even know if we can pick up yet in False Graveyard, let's just save it for when we want to take care of the entire monastery as a whole. We'll deal with RFK now. Then I think we're gonna head back to Hillsbrad probably after that. That might be a longer episode as well. I want to handle as much as we can in that zone. We're gonna finish Stone Talon, and we've got Thousand Needles. We've got a lot of stuff lined up. And then probably another dungeon after all of that is said and done. And beautiful, we hit level 30 by just discovering the Great Lift. Look at the dungeons that we can do. I really don't want to do Nomergon if we can help it. I just really don't like that dungeon as a whole. Watch, it'll be the dungeon that has like all the leather pieces in it. No, I mean, so far I'm not seeing anything that we really care about. Crowd Pummeler is pretty cool item though. Yeah, there's nothing in here that we care about at all. Yeah, I know I said I wanted to do all the dungeons. I don't like Nomergon. It has nothing for us, so I don't see a reason to do it. That kind of leaves Razorfen Crawl as the only thing that we can really take care of until we decide to fully get into the Scarlet Monastery. Let's turn in this quest real quick first.
Ancestors watch over you.
So that we can talk while we're making our way over to Freewind.
Well met. Go in peace.
Yeah, we'll take that to Freewind as well, and I think that's going to be all that we need. Let's see if we can make this elevator. Should be good. Yeah, let's just make the walk to Freewind. We won't, I'm not going to do any grinding on anything. We'll just take the path. Take a nice stroll. But yeah, let's see. Let's open up AtlasLoot again real quick. just kind of look at some things. So like I said, Graveyard has basically nothing. It's Interrogator, Vicious, and Blood Mage Thalnos. None of them have anything for us. There's these rare spawns that I guess can appear in Graveyard. Like Azure the Sleepless, Fallen Champion, and Iron Spine. And there's stuff in here, specifically, that we can definitely utilize, I think. These leather hands are pretty good. Iron Spine has an amazing ring. But I never see those rare spawns. They are truly rare. I don't ever pick them up or anything like that. From library, we've got Loxy's Training Stick is pretty interesting. Dealing plus 60 attack power to fighting beasts. That is a lot, especially for a staff that you can obtain right around the level that you enter Stranglethorn Vale for the first time. So that's pretty good. Apart from that, you can get the dog training gloves, which again, Stranglethorn Vale could be pretty good. And then Arcanist Doan, probably nothing here that's going to interest us too much. Armory, probably nothing here from Harad. That's like a specifically a warrior / paladin dungeon. And then from Cathedral, these bracers look pretty good. Mograine drops nothing. Inquisitor drops nothing. I swear, the first 40 levels of classic dungeons in general do not have anything for hunters. Not even hunters, just leather wearers in particular. It's all front loaded into like Wailing Caverns, Ragefire. I don't know. Maybe Deadmines has more leather stuff. I haven't checked Deadmines' loot table in quite a long time, but it's possible that Deadmines is maybe the dungeon to go with if you're a leather wearer. I mean, I have to imagine a dungeon with Edwin Van Cleef probably has something in it for leather wearers. So yeah, we're going to have to rely on leatherworking. We're going to have to rely on the auction house for some pieces, probably. I don't know how else we're going to get some of these items. You know, we should see our first helm slot item soon. Hopefully. And it's, you know, only a matter of time before we're going to have to look to update our jewelry as well. And our weapon. Well, that was a pretty quick run. Aspect of the cheetah making quick work of our travel time. And we're here in Freewind Post. So let's go ahead and check some of the vendors. We'll pick up the flight path first.
How?
And we'll check some of the vendors out. We'll turn in the quests that we currently have, and then we'll just leave the rest of these quests alone until we're ready to take on 1,000 Needles for real. I don't think there are any quests here that are going to take us like somewhere else, for example. So it's nice to know that we have a gunsmith / bowyer here. And they sell razor arrows, which is nice. I have seen comments already about razor arrows and how you do not need to purchase them from the auction house, so we've probably been buying them for an extra silver per stack, I suppose, which I guess is more convenient than going back to a vendor in some cases, I guess. We're going to ignore the medium quiver. We're just going to pick up the heavy quiver that we can create ourselves once we pick up enough heavy leather. Shouldn't take us too long. We're going to convert all of our medium leather into heavy leather in order to get that done. We still have some razor arrows in our inbox, so I'm just going to leave this alone for now, but I'm going to wait to vendor the various weapons that we picked up from the Quillbore until we get back to Camp Tarajo. I just don't want to accidentally vendor something that we need for the Weapons of Choice quest.
Greetings. May the eternal sun shine upon thee.
Yeah, so these Pacify the Centaur quests, these early quests are pretty low, so I'm hoping that we can survive another 3 episodes or so before we start 1,000 Needles. I just know after that initial quest, it's not, most of the quests are going to be yellow to us, I feel like, at that point.
I've been expecting
So yeah, this is a quest we'll save for another time.
you. been expecting you.
I am just the thing for you.
Trade supplier unfortunately does not have any interesting recipes for us. Innkeepers don't typically have anything, so I'm just going to ignore that. Stable master, butcher.
What are you looking for? Go for.
No new cooking recipes there.
Ah,
Lore keeper, this is like a reagents vendor. Looks like he sells some herbs, but nothing that we're particularly interested in. I think that might be it for Freewind Post, so I'm glad that we got the flight path. That's certainly a good thing. I suppose hearthing back to Crossroads is probably going to be slower than just taking the flight directly back to Camp T from here. Let's just go ahead and take care of that. I'll move some stuff around in our bags a little bit. Stuff that we want to auction versus quest items versus vendor stuff. I'll try to sell this sword one time, but I imagine that this deposit's probably going to be pretty expensive to put on the auction house. So I'll do it once, and if it doesn't work out, then we'll just take our vendor gold and leave it at that. We are at 12.5 gold now, which is pretty good. Our professions are starting to cost a lot more, though. You know, we've luckily picked up all of our expert levels, but we're already ready for artisan skinning, and that costs us 5 gold, which is just too much for us right now. Let's get our talent point in. So the level 30 talent that comes in is Scattershot. I don't know how useful this is going to be from a leveling perspective. This is a incredibly useful PvP talent, but I feel like we're just going to start putting points into Barrage as we actually do use multi-shot quite a lot, not just in AoE scenarios, but also in single target scenarios as well. So I think we'll just put our point into there for now. I've had my fair fill, I would say, so far of aimed shot, which is really the only reason why we went with marksmanship in the first place. So a part of me does want to switch over to Beast Mastery at some point soon. I did say that we'd probably play around with some other talents along the way to 60. Beast Mastery is a little bit more boring, but it's going to keep enemies off of us. Our pet's going to do a lot more damage, have a lot more health. Things will be easier to solo. And I think that's fine. We're already like churning through everything as it is pretty easily. Ringlock, Skull, Tooth Orc at the Crossroads. Alright, so we're going to head over to the Crossroads real quick then. This tunic is not going to be an upgrade. It has a little bit of extra stamina, but we're losing a ton of agility from it. But it's an extra 3,000 experience to turn in. So we definitely take that.
Well met. Walk with the Earth Mother. Go in peace. Thrall Hall. For the Horde.
We're turning in weapons of choice. We're going to pick the Demolition Hammer. It's not an upgrade, but it will vendor for quite a lot.
May your blades never dull.
New ore sample. Find an unrefined ore sample on Gravel Snout Digger or Surveyor. So these are in 1,000 Needles. Interesting. All
Be
right.
safe.
So we'll accept the quest. Doesn't put anything additional into our bags, so I'm okay with that. Let's hearth to the Crossroads. Hearthstone is coming in handy after all. We'll turn in that quest. We can vendor stuff since we've turned in weapons of choice. And then we're going to head back to Thunderbluff. So we can pick up our new abilities. handle auctions, and anything else we need to do in town to prepare for RFK. I think all the quests in RFK can be picked up outside of the instance or directly in the instance. I don't know if there are any others to pick up anywhere else. There might be one. I'm going to check Undercity real quick. This one, Going Guano, I think happens in RFK, so we're going to have to either pick that up or just hope that somebody in the group has the quest to share.
Strength.
What you want?
Use up those last several stacks of razor arrows from our mailbox. Still might not be a terrible idea, you know, even to make ourselves a bank alt, which we actually haven't done yet, surprisingly. Maybe buy some razor arrows with the bank alt to send to our hunter. It still might be nice to have that stuff in our mailbox if you know, we need to pick up extra arrows without taking up inventory space. We can easily just access any mailbox to grab extra ones for ourselves. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe we'll just make that heavy quiver while we're in Thunderbluff as well. We can just purchase some leather, probably for a very cheap price. I don't think it's going to cost us too much to fill out the rest of the heavy leather that we need. We can create one already from the medium leather that we have. We actually might be able to create two if I convert the light leather. And then we're only going to need like a couple after that to make the quiver. Yeah, it feels great to be level 30. It's a pretty big milestone. We'll see what we get from the trainer. I know we're going to get Feign Death, I'm pretty sure, which is huge. It's the only thing that allows us to completely drop aggro, could save us in some situations, and could even be used to drop combat simply to place like a trap or something. We have not been using traps basically at all. We have not really had a reason to. I think that'll come more into play when, you know, maybe when we start taking on like elite enemies, some more elite enemies in the world. Or if we have to run away in the dungeon and we want to try to save the group as much as we can pop Feign Death, pop a freezing trap, hopefully give everybody enough time to escape in those situations. We're just going to have to remember to do so if that ever happens. It's hard to remember to use all of these niche abilities when it's you know, not very often that you actually get to use them. We're landing in Thunderbluff now. I think we're going to deal with the quiver first. Let's get that out of the way. We're going to need Find Thread. So we don't need to go to the Leatherworking trainer for that. I think we can just hop down. There should be a trade supplies vendor down here. The first thing we'll do is convert the leather to see how much we actually need. I'm going to check our bank too and see what else we have in there. I feel like it's been a long time since we've actually visited our bank. We haven't had to like drop off anything in particular or get anything out of it. Maybe there's something in here that we're forgetting about. I do also have to remember our first aid level got starting to get more and more silk. So I'm going to have to remember to pick up the book that allows us to create our next few bandages. I still have a medium hide in here. Probably should get that out. We don't have any heavy leather in here. We didn't save anything. And I don't think we need any of this other stuff. It's good to see that these swiftness potions are finally starting to go up in price a little bit. I'm going to hoard those as an investment. Because I do believe that those could be worth something at some point. Something substantial. Let's check the heavy quiver one more time. We need 3 heavy leather. 2 silver each. That is totally fine. Let's buy the 1 stack of 3. That's perfect. And while we're here, we'll just post the other stuff that we have. Try to run a full scan. I try to keep this as up to date as we can every time that we check our postings. It's nice to see what something could be worth while you're out in the open world, but the market right now in the fresh servers is just changing constantly, all the time, for a lot of different stuff. Let's go grab some fine thread.
How? We shall.
Greetings, traveler. Goodbye.
Feels good to make our own quiver. This is going to have 6 extra slots, I think. It's quite a substantial difference. And we get some ranged haste out of it as well. This should allow us to take the rest of the arrows that we have in our mailbox out as well, so we can have a clean slate for our mailbox. That's perfect. I know that there is a gun/bow vendor in Thunder Bluff as well. I want to kind of check in with them. I wonder if their stock just increases, because like I remember checking various bow vendors, you know, like in Orgrimmar and Undercity and stuff, and they never had the razor arrows, but now they seem to have them, and maybe it's because they don't appear until like you hit a certain level, maybe. Like maybe when we hit 25, like they just randomly appeared. Maybe when we hit 35, the next arrow is going to appear. I wonder if that's the way that it works, as opposed to just showing you that they exist, but you just can't like buy them yet, which they do for all the other weapons and pieces of gear, like white gear that you can buy from random vendors in each major city. They do that for those types of vendors, but not, you know, for like ammunition, which I, you know, just kind of find weird. I'd like to see that something exists at a vendor and it's just not in stock. Like it would be nice to know. It's the same thing. I guess I have the same quarrel with the recipes that you can buy from different vendors across the world. I'd like to see what kind of, you know, recipes you could provide if you had them available. If they're not available, it's fine. But
What brings you?
saves me a trip to Google to try to figure out what we have. So we've got a bunch of updates for our pet, and we're gonna probably want all of them. These are very expensive, but we kind of want all of these. It's probably gonna cost us around a gold. Yeah, a little bit more than a gold. We should be able to train... Oh wow, we actually need a lot more training points than we actually have to pick up all of these. Growl rank 4, really good for us. Okay, yeah, we have to wait until our pet hits level 30 to pick these up anyway, so let's just make sure we make a note of that. Just want to write that down real quick, because we don't want to forget about that, but it looks like we're going to have to train, we're going to have to get some more points. I wonder if 60 is just like the limit to like how much you could have at one time. But we're gonna have to wait until our pet hits 30 in order to train some of those and start getting some more points out of it. Oh, let's see, did I forget anything? No, I think it's just getting our new abilities from the trainer. Aspect of the beast. The hunter takes on the aspects of a beast, becoming untrackable. That might be the most niche ability in the entire game. I don't think we're going to pick that up. Outside of like PvP, I don't know what you would use that for. And even in PvP, if you have to use this over aspect of the hawk or aspect of the monkey, like something just like substantially better for that situation. Otherwise, I don't know what you're going to use it for. We can pick up Eagle Eye and Eyes of the Beast now. They're very cheap compared to when we could have first picked them up. Yeah, I mean, we could do Scare Beast. I found that we haven't really needed it so far. Marksmanship, we're definitely going to pick up Distracting Shot and Multi-Shot. Those are very useful. And then in the survival tree, the big one is definitely Feign Death. And then I think we're going to leave the rest of this alone for now. I don't really feel the need for Immolation Trap to be used. I guess if we start running into elite enemies at some point, Immolation Trap would be a nice like damage boost in those situations, I suppose. 70 silver is a lot to pay for an ability that we basically never use. I'm going to take a quick look at the level 32 abilities as well, because we're starting to enter territory where picking up every single ability is like not going to be necessary at all, or you know, just not advisable. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing for 32 that we really care about. So I think we're going to leave that alone. And honestly, well, let me check with the trainer. Let's see how much it costs to reset our talents for the first time.
Shine upon thee. We shall meet
1 gold.
again.
It's not such a big deal. I would like to go Beast Mastery soon enough, I think. Especially since our level 30 talent here is Intimidation, which is really cool. It's basically like a taunt that also stuns for 3 seconds on a minute-long cooldown. That's pretty cool. Our beast will move a lot faster with bestial swiftness and stuff like that. So that's something I definitely want to consider moving forward a little bit. One of the biggest reasons why I want to stick with marksmanship so badly for vanilla is that I don't PvP pretty much ever anymore. Like even casual battlegrounds I have not done in a long time. And marksmanship after vanilla is kind of the PvP. It kind of becomes the PvP spec for hunters. It doesn't become super viable or interesting in TBC or in Wrath. I'm going to be going survival probably all the way once TBC and Wrath launches with a Beast Mastery off spec. So, you know, I kind of want to play with marksmanship for as long as we can in vanilla, while it's the you know, like the most interesting that it probably has ever been within those classic environments. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me for today. We're going to be taking on Razorfen Crawl. as our first episode after hitting level 30. So I hope you guys will stick around for that. And as always, I appreciate you all so much for watching. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.